What is up, guys? So today we are going to discuss a very important topic in photography, composition. Composition is the heart and soul of your image. No matter how perfect it is in terms of exposure or even other technicalities, if the composition is not good, if the composition is not right, your image will lose all its charm. So I'm going to tell you about the most common mistakes that people make in the beginning. These are very basic, and to rectify them, you just need to pay a little attention in the field, and that is all. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Mistake number 1, including everything in one photograph. I have noticed this a lot of times on the field. What happens is when we come across a very beautiful subject, we just pick up a camera and start shooting. Don't do that. Give yourself a second. Pay a little attention to what all subjects do you want to include in that particular photograph. Look at this image. There is this beautiful ruddy shell duck swimming in the water. What is irritating about the photograph is all these coots killing the beauty of the shell duck. They are so near to a primary subject that we cannot really blur them out. Now, what do you do in these situations? This is a very common scenario in wildlife photography, especially in bird photography. Make yourself comfortable and wait. Wait for the subject to come out of that clutter, and the moment it comes out of that clutter, that is the time you shoot. Mistake number 2, not waiting for the head turn. Another very basic mistake is picking up the camera and clicking just for the sake of clicking. Don't do that. Wait for the subject to turn its head towards you. Look at this one. This sambar was standing under this beautiful canopy. It stood there for a couple of minutes. Now you can obviously take a record shot like I took this one, because in wildlife we cannot really anticipate the next moment with accuracy. But what you do is, once you click the record shot, wait for the subject to look at you. If it did, you get a great shot. But just in case if it did not, then probably it was not the right moment for you. Mistake number 3, breathing space in the opposite direction. Another common problem, leaving space in the wrong direction. Now, whenever you compose, make sure that you leave some space in the right direction. Which is the right direction? The direction in which your subject is looking. Check this one. Blocked from the wrong side. And to my eyes, it kind of looks pretty disturbing. I mean, I cannot really make peace with this image. It gives the viewer a very blocked view. Now, look at this one. Here you have space right in front of the subject. To my eyes, it actually looks pretty neat. The space is right in front of the subject where it is looking. It is kind of much better than the previous one. Mistake number 4, tilted horizon. Now this one I have noticed in every third photograph that I receive for reviews. The horizon in the background is tilted and nothing is done to rectify it. Don't do that. It is a major vibe killer. Look at this photograph. A handsome bull standing on the riverbank. Now pay attention to the background. The horizon is not straight. This kind of gives a very amateurish look to your photograph. All you need to do is compose it properly. For help, switch that grid on your cameras. Make sure that the horizon in your photograph is parallel to the lines in the grid. And if you don't have the grid option, make sure that the horizon is at least parallel to the bottom of the viewfinder. Besides, don't depend on post-processing for this one, because in rectification, you might lose a lot of detail on the edge. Mistake number 5, not paying attention to the background. If you have been doing wildlife photography for a while, you have been in that situation where we come across a very interesting subject and the background is full of distractions like this one. Now you have a jeep with some people peeping out of it and screwing up a beautiful head-on shot. But what do? Don't get satisfied with that shot. Keep looking for that right window. There will be moments when the subject will walk in your direction or maybe in some other direction where the background is pretty clear. Pay attention to that moment and shoot when it comes. Now these shots were clicked just a few minutes apart and there's a night and day difference. Okay, here comes the 6th one and my favorite one, being a lazy ass in the field and not moving at all. In the field, there's a very common thing when we don't pay attention to the surroundings, and a lot of times we have an opportunity to get a very clean shot of our subject by just taking a couple of steps backward or forward. But we are too lazy to do that. We pick up our camera and we start shooting, not paying attention to the angle, to the foreground, to the background, etc. Look at this one. A beautiful jungle fowl with such a messed up foreground. Next time when you're there in the field, look around. If you're not getting a clean shot of your subject, move a little. Here, all I had to do was tell my driver to reverse the jeep a little and it got me this. Much better than the previous one, no? Okay. Another instance of being a lazy bum is not bending to the right angle. You Bending to the eye level of your subject can give your image a whole new perspective. I know it is a lot of work to do, but next time when you see a subject and feel like not squatting to its level, remember this example. Here is a pair of Sarus cranes clicked from the usual standing angle. And look how much difference can going down to the eye level make. All you need to do is squat. And if you cannot squat, then feel free to lie down flat on the ground. Trust me, the results are worth the hassle. Mistake number 7, including a lot of foreground. So the last one here is including a lot of foreground, which is absolutely unnecessary. Before you click, look at the foreground. Is it even worth getting included in your photograph? Ask yourself, is it interesting enough to show it to your viewers? Look here. Here is a beautiful sunset shot of an elephant walking on the riverbank. But there's this dark patch in the foreground which is actually not required and is also kind of killing the beauty of the photograph. Look at this one. Instead of the foreground, I chose to include more background here. Because of that, we have another layer on the top. So we have this golden sky, then a mountain, a layer of trees, and then 2 layers of this river. This adds more depth to the photograph. Compare it with this one. Here you have just 3 layers due to a lot of unnecessary foreground. To my eyes, composing it like this makes a lot of difference, and you cannot get this if you crop the image in the post. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And now, if you have any other topic in mind related to photography, related to wildlife photography, then you can let me know in the comment section below and I will try to take a note of that for my next video.